my family doing this to my family, I'd want to do the same thing and set the record straight. It just seems to me that she's decided you're all too big a problem. Therefore, you have to be cut loose. And I got to be honest, I knew Meghan for a bit before she met Harry, did exactly the same to me. Bang, done. She did that to many people that she knew, that she'd either worked with or was friends with or whatever. It just seems to me she's what I would call a ruthless social climber, who just when people are no longer, no longer appropriate parts of her circle, they have to be expunged quickly so she can move on up the ladder.
Really, nigga?
Absolutely. And I think a lot of greed plays into that fact also. I mean, the amount of unprecedented files, photos, videos, and documentation that we're going to be including in our documentary.
Okay.
It's going to tell a whole different story, and I think the general public and the UK and America knows that now the Markles aren't bad people. We're just like a normal family like everybody else. We do exist, and when one person tells lies and then tells 10 other lies to cover the one lie, and it keeps on going, this is what happens. You end up looking ridiculous.
Fact. There's a staggering moment, Thomas, where Ashley, who is, I think, your niece, who's Samantha's daughter, befriended Meghan and was going to go to the wedding. And then Meghan is apparently advised by some flunky at the palace that wouldn't be a good idea because Samantha's not invited. So this happens.
How do we explain that this half-sister isn't invited to the wedding, but that the half-sister's daughter is? And so, with Ashley, the guidance at the time was to not have her come to our wedding.
I think I said I was hurt on some level, but I understood where it was coming from. To know that it was because of my biological mother that this relationship that's so important to me was impacted in that way.
Stupid, I'm not gonna let you get the chance.
To feel like because of her it was taken away has been hard.
Yeah, actually, it was because of Meghan that it was taken away. Meghan could have had her there if she wanted to have her there. Instead, she wanted to have a bunch of celebrities she barely knew, from the Clooneys to the Beckhams to Elton John to James Gordon to Timbuktu. I mean, it looked like anyone she'd met on the party circuit in the previous 2 years got the invite. But a lot of Harry's friends weren't there, and nor was this niece who she makes a big thing in the documentary saying we were so close.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there you have it. One lie turns into 20 other lies. She didn't have a family, so therefore nobody was invited. I mean, who doesn't invite their family to a wedding, especially a royal wedding?
Damn!
And it's not like anybody in my family asked her for one nickel or anything of her. We were all actually happy for her when all this happened, but the slow turn of events showed the true colors of this woman.
Really, nigga?
When you finished watching today, these first 3 episodes, what was your kind of overview about what's happened to Meghan, and indeed what you think of Harry?
Well, my general overview is I can't believe that she was able to be in this position, all by my father's doing, by the way.
What?
To be in that position and to know what you're getting yourself into, and then go in there and try and change a 1,000-year-old tradition and monarchy to your own liking. Who does that? It's still a big question. I mean, my father and we talk about it quite a bit. It's like, I mean, how could you even consider doing that? You were everything every woman in their life could ever dream of, you had, and you had to go and make waves and accusations and be difficult, and overall, taking Harry away from his family.
Right. Yeah, I'm afraid I think it's completely disgraceful.
Like I said...
Thomas, I've got to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. Please send your father my best, won't you? Because I've been concerned about him. I'm glad to hear he's on the mend.
Absolutely.
Obviously been a scary time for you and the family. Please send him my very best.
Absolutely, will do. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, good to talk to you. Well, joining me now is the Royal Editor at The Standard, Robert Jobson, and Professor of Black Studies at Birmingham University, Kehinde Andrews. Welcome to both of you. Robert, I mean, pretty startling, isn't it, when you hear her own half-brother talking that way about this and how they feel as a family?
It's startling, it's upsetting, I'm sure, for them. I mean, you know, they do seem, when they're on the television, to be fairly normal people.
Right.
Are you sure about that?
And, you know, Thomas Markle Sr. has come in for an awful lot of criticism for when he, you know, allegedly sold out the way he did, but there was no support for him at the time.
None.
And I think that he did need that support. And
So Harry performs this dramatic U-turn. Oh, we never meant to suggest they were racist. It was the terrible British press. They were the ones who said it was racism. We just meant unconscious bias. You know what that's become a euphemism for? We actually haven't got any evidence of someone being racist. We just think it's kind of unconscious, on the sly, right? It's kind of there, but we can't prove it. It's like, we think they might be. Yeah, not good enough. Not when it comes to members of the royal family, whose reputations are on a global stage. So why should I stand back and let a proven liar like Omid Scobie, a man who claims in this book as a fact that I have regular phone chats with Queen Camilla? Regular. Do you know how many times I've spoken to Queen Camilla on the phone in my entire 58-year life? 0.
So that was a f***ing lie.
Not once. It's not just not regular. It's never happened. We've never had a phone chat. So he's a liar.
Are you sure about that?
And he lied again about when apparently I called Meghan Markle Princess Pinocchio on that fateful last day of Good Morning Britain. Apparently Camilla immediately contacted me to thank me on behalf of the firm. No, she didn't. Another lie. Complete lie. So Scobie prepared to lie about me, about these little things, which don't really amount to a row of beans. Why should we believe anything else he has to say? All he's doing is dragging the whole royal family through the mud all over again, reigniting these racism charges because he wants to sell books and make money.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Well, Scobie gave another interview this morning, in which he again denied working with Meghan Markle, and he also denied ever using the names in any draft of his book.
I'm as frustrated as everyone else. I make it very clear in this book that I, in every way possible, want to adhere to the laws surrounding this subject. It's why I've been very careful in how it's described in the book, and it's why I've never spoken about it beyond what I've said in the public domain before. The reality is, though, is that this is information that is not privy just to me.
What do you mean by that?
A liar. A barefaced liar. He wants us to believe that he only submitted a draft in the English version which never mentioned the names, but that somebody in the Netherlands got hold of it and added the names and added entire paragraph in one part of this into the manuscript before it went to the printers. A lethal saboteur.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Who would do that? Have you ever met any author in history, because I haven't, who's had that happen to their manuscript? That on the way to the printers in a foreign country like the Netherlands, they got into the manuscript and changed it without the author knowing anything about it? No.
God, please, no! 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 No!
It doesn't pass what we call the smell test. Mr. Scobie stinks when it comes to the smell test.
How? Hold on, bro. How?
Now, he thinks I'm completely wrong to assume an earlier version of his book included the names and was sent for translation, only for his lawyers to take them out of the final edition, which I think is the most likely explanation. It's therefore rather inconvenient for him that the Dutch translator has told reporters tonight that she'd only translated what was written down on the manuscript.
Nice.
She said the names of the royals were there in black and white. I didn't add them. I just did what I was paid to do, and that was translate the book from English into Dutch. Now, at this point, the deafening silence from Harry and Meghan becomes a little more than deafening. It becomes pretty shameful, because they usually race to condemn and denounce any press reports that we dislike, particularly if it involves any leaks from private correspondence. And Meghan Markle, ironically, was forced to admit that she colluded with Omid Scobie on his last book in a court action she took against a newspaper over private correspondence with her father.
Wow.
So why have they remained so silent about Omid Scobie's lies and also about his leaking of the private correspondence between Meghan Markle and King Charles that contain these names?
I don't know.
Is it because they were involved in him getting this information? Is it because, I don't know, the Tooth Fairy came down and did it, or Santa Claus, or, for want of a better third example, Pinocchio?
Really, nigga?
The public can, of course, make their own minds up about all of this. It shouldn't take long. And the same goes for the baseless accusations of royal racism. Nobody, I repeat, really thinks King Charles or the Princess of Wales are racist.
Are you serious?
Nobody. That's part of the reason, actually, why I decided to put their names out there. It's called lancing the boil. It's called removing what has been a simmering threat deployed by Meghan and Harry and deployed by Omid Scobie as an unspoken threat. We've got these names, and if we don't get what we want, we're going to use them.
Yes, exactly.
Now they can't do that. I've been at the sharp end of British journalism for 30 years. I've seen royal crises come and go. I remember after Diana died, everybody predicted that was the end of the monarchy. But it wasn't. The monarchy survived and it thrived with our great Queen Elizabeth II. And it's doing so again now with King Charles. He's doing a brilliant job as the head of our great royal family and the head of the great monarchy. The only crisis I think that we're facing at the moment, this end game, as Omid Scobie puts it, is an end game for Omid Scobie.